What's the weirdest way you realized someone was secretly looking out for you? When I was 19, I worked the closing shift at a diner right off the interstate. I was completely broke, trying to pay for community college, and pretty much living off whatever messed up orders the kitchen let us eat. The kitchen manager was this guy named Marcus. He was in his 50s, always smelled like bleach and burnt coffee, and I was entirely convinced he hated my guts. From day one, he made my shifts miserable. He always assigned me section 4, which was this terrible row of booths right next to the drafty front doors, while the other waitresses got the cozy back sections where the easygoing regulars sat. I was constantly shivering and dealing with transient crowds. On top of that, he wouldn't let the busboys help me. If a baseball team destroyed a table, Marcus would physically block the busboy and yell across the restaurant for me to come clear it myself. I'd be nearly in tears, carrying huge tubs of dirty dishes with aching arms, thinking he was just trying to break me until I quit. It all peaked on a Friday night. I was exhausted, stressed about a $300 textbook I couldn't afford, and I accidentally dropped a tray of water glasses near the kitchen doors. Marcus just pointed at the mop closet. He didn't even ask if I was okay. I went to the back hallway to get the mop and just take a second to cry where nobody could see me. The door to the owner's office was cracked open, and I heard the general manager, Dave, talking to Marcus. Dave was saying, "You're being too hard on the kid. Why do you keep isolating her in section 4? And why won't you let the busboys touch her tables?" I held my breath in the dark, waiting to hear Marcus say I was a terrible worker or that I didn't deserve to be there. Instead, Marcus sighed. It was the most tired sound I've ever heard. "Section 4 gets the long-haul truckers pulling off the interstate at 2 a.m., Marcus said. "They don't want to sit in the crowded dining room. They want quiet, and they tip in cash, usually 30% if you just keep their coffee full and don't rush them." Dave was quiet for a second, so Marcus kept going. "And I make her clear her own tables because if the busboys do it, she has to tip them out 15% of her total sales at the end of the night. She told me last month she's struggling with her tuition payments. If she clears her own plates, she keeps her whole tip. She takes home an extra $30 a shift because of it. Just let me run my floor, Dave." I stood there in the hallway holding a wet mop, feeling my stomach completely drop. Everything suddenly flipped. The freezing tables I hated were actually the highest tipping tables in the restaurant. The busboy rule wasn't a punishment. It was a loophole he created so I wouldn't lose my own money. Even the messed up fry orders he always shoved toward my station when I was working a double. He was making them on purpose so I'd have something to eat. I wiped my face, grabbed the mop, and went back out to the floor. I cleaned up the glass. A few minutes later, when I went to the window to drop off a ticket, Marcus slid a fresh plate of chicken tenders onto the counter. He didn't look at me, just grunted and said, "Order 42 got canceled. Eat it before it gets cold." I didn't tell him what I heard. I just looked at him, really looked at him, and said, "Thank you, Marcus." For the first time since I started working there, he gave me this tiny, almost invisible nod. I worked there for 2 more years, and I never complained about section 4 again.